What's going on, guys? So, I was looking around through my Mancera fragrances because I haven't been wearing much from the house recently, and I started pulling caps and smelling atomizers and kind of rediscovered and rekindled a love for a fragrance that I haven't worn in some time that I bet a lot of you have either never smelled or kind of haven't spent time with in a while. And I think I'm actually going to title this as the best Mancera fragrance that you've probably never smelled. And we are talking about Mancera's Oud Blue Notes. So stay tuned. So I'll have the notes on screen for you guys. I haven't taken a look at it. We're just going to talk about the accords that I get overall. Because if you're a fan of floral fragrances, you really should check this one out. So it's got this fruity sweetness at the top. I don't distinctively pick out any specific fruits like an orange or anything like that, but a very fruity sweet smell. And you're going to get this creamy amalgamation of florals. There's violet in here, there's rose, there's iris. I most notably get an iris rose type of smell. It's a creamy, powdery type of floral. Very elegant type of stuff. The creaminess could be attributed to the patchouli. I believe there's patchouli in here as well, and it does offer a little bit of a creamy patchouli smell. And as it starts to dry down, it's all about dense woods. I don't remember the type of woods. It doesn't distinctively come across as cedar. Could be a little bit of sandalwood in there helping with that creamy tone. I'm not sure. Doesn't distinctively smell like that. It just has this really strong woody nuance that kind of takes over the fragrance after the fruity tone starts to settle down, because that's the three main phrases that you're going to get from this fragrance: fruity, sweet, fresh, and a little floral at the top. Lightly fruity sweet as it starts to fade, dominated by patchouli and florals in the heart, and then this dense woody smell with a little bit of the florals in the dry down, mostly patchouli, woods, and a little touch of florals. Hours and hours into the life. Like I said, this is beautiful. I know online a lot of people like to compare this to Oud Lemon Mint, and yes, it does share the same bottle, different cap, different label, but I think there's more differences than there is similarities. Oud Lemon Mint's all about this creamy lemon, bitter almond kind of combination. There's a little tiny bit of similarity because of the creaminess, but like I said, I find there to be more differences than there are similarities. I don't think it's redundant at all. I have both. I wear both. Just haven't wore this one in some time, and this one deserves some attention. Like I said, it's just criminally underrated overall. I do have it on my arm. I've had it on my arm for about an hour now. It's magnificent if you're a fan of floral fragrances. Admittedly, not the most casual of floral fragrances out there, and the quality's not upper echelon top tier, but it's also not designer level either. It's how most Manceras come across, kind of falling somewhere in between, kind of that entry level niche type of quality. Performance, we'll discuss in a little bit, is of course fantastic on this, as expected with most Manceras, but this one's absolutely worth a sample. You can get carded samples online. I'm sure there's decant sites out there that carry this and decant it. If anything I said here kind of strikes a nerve to where you're like, I need to try that, I would advise getting a sample of this, because like I said, if you're a fan of floral fragrances, there's no reason not to try this, because this is probably the best Mancera that you haven't smelled. Now, in regards to performance, it's awesome, as you would expect. It's been a little while since I've worn it. I'll recall clocking it 10, 11 hours pretty much every time I wear it. So 10 to 12 hours is kind of the safe bet. Even with drier skin, you probably can expect 7 or 8, even 9 hours out of this eau de parfum. It's a heavier fragrance. Even though I think you can get away with this in certain situations or settings in the summertime, mostly when you're going to be in a climate-controlled environment. Not the best for high heat outdoors in the sun. But spring, fall, even into winter, if you're looking for a slightly upscale floral that doesn't necessarily smell like all the other fruity floral fragrances out there, this might be the one. Like I said, longevity's there. Projection won't fill a room unless you're the heavy spray type, because it is a dense sillage. It's on the moderate side with sillage, not even the moderate to mild. It's a bit stronger in its sillage. You will have a pretty thick aroma kind of surrounding you in this little personal scent bubble that you're going to have for pretty much the whole life of the fragrance. Projection early on in the first 2 hours is obviously on the much more heavy side. There are some volatile oils in the top to this one, and then that creaminess kind of helps thicken up the aroma. So whatever notes are creating that creaminess to the accord, the creamy accord that I'm getting, really makes the, like I said, this dense smell to it. Beautiful wedding fragrance, dinner dates, any situation where you're going to be dressed kind of Oxford or better, suit and tie, things like that, and you want to make a bit of a statement. You're not necessarily going to smell like all the other guys that are out there. Ladies, same thing for you. Extremely unisex, does lean a little bit more feminine because of the dominance in florals, but the main point here of this segment is the performance, and I got to tell you, across the board, it's great. It's great projection, great longevity, a great thick sillage, leaves nothing to be desired. It checks all the boxes in performance. Final thoughts on Oud Blue Notes is, I think, like I said before, it's criminally underrated. My rating is not going to be underrated because I do appreciate this for what it is. Actually, at the recording of this video, I think I'm going to put this in the rotation tomorrow. I think it's going to be my scent of the day. This is beautiful, even though I'm going to wear it a little bit more casually than I was just saying to typically do so. Confidence is key. If you're going to wear something a little on the dressy side in a casual setting, just got to be confident in what you're doing. Wear the fragrance. Don't let the fragrance wear you. And this particular one, I think, is great. This is a fantastic fragrance. Let me get it to focus for you guys. There we go. Oud Blue Notes is absolutely an 8.5 out of 10 fragrance to me, in my mind. I think it's great. Flying under the radar, like I said in the beginning of the video, and I believe I'm going to title it this way, this is the best Mancera fragrance you've probably never smelled. It deserves some love. Get out and get a sample. If anything you heard here today, or if you looked at the note breakdown and it kind of struck your fancy, like, yeah, I need to try that, get a sample and try it. It may be the next Mancera bottle that you need to add to your collection. Well, that's my thoughts and feelings on Mancera Oud Blue Notes. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. How many of you have tried this? How many of you have tried it before and maybe it wasn't for you? Just because I'm really digging it doesn't necessarily mean you will. But then again, there's some of you out there that are like, man, I'm glad you've talked about this one. Nobody ever talks about it. I love this fragrance. And so on and so on. I'd love to read all of that down in the comment section. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on Oud Blue Notes and you give it a spray now, pretty confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.